behind the scenes in organizations because of putting together the story, the symbolism, the message through the medium of personal Facebook. And that any individual in this ever-changing, ever-evolving society that we're in, where technology increases faster and faster and people get more and more disconnected, we can actually use social media to better ourselves and better other people. So today, I'm going to teach very specific things on how we can take our personal Facebook and any medium, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever the medium is, through our message, through our story, through our language, to build visibility and credibility to help people that like us, know us, trust us. So that's what today's about. So I want to go a couple steps back, a little history, real estate kind of breakdown. So who's been in the business 5 years or less? And anyone 10 years or less? Lauren, you've been in the business more than 10 years? More than 15? What's up, brother? Yeah. Okay, great. I just want to gain the audience. So we're going to start now. We're going to break down 3, 4, the internet, after the internet, and post, internet, enculturation, and the inception of social media very quickly. So before the internet, we had our consumers, our buyers and sellers. Now, who here's ever talked to a person that maybe you cold called them or door knocked them or you met them at an event and you asked them if they were interested in buying or selling and they said they had someone? Psychologically speaking, we all have someone because we have people that are in our vortex, in our proximity bias, friends, family members, and someone may have a real estate license. Due to this vortex of the double F, friends and family, for example, someone that doesn't know someone, maybe the realtor that doesn't know this person, has to be able to break through and create trust. This individual is the agent, let's say. Now, a business, what's a business? A vision to a solution of a problem first. The profit is the margin and what it costs to solve the problem and what comes in. Someone originally breaks through this trust to someone that already had someone and does it well enough, consistently enough, and gets good enough at it where they're competent, they inevitably can start a traditional, remember this is before the internet, a traditional real estate company. Well, what's a company? It's the story, it's the language, it's the symbolism, through the medium, the marketing. This is before the internet. And then people, agents, can work through this idea. They can work through this idea. Now, the consumers still have friends and family members. But because of the brand of the traditional real estate, the agents can get through the consumers easier. Now, why do the consumers need the agents in the real estate? Because the consumers don't have information. So the powers in the real estate hierarchy is the real estate traditional company. The agent is grown, right? They can borrow that trust, they can borrow that brand, they can borrow that marketing to break through. I have someone. You follow? So psychologically speaking, this is what's created sociologically in the group. And then the internet happens. Now this is what happens, Moore's Law, everything doubles every 18 months. What does that mean? It means that in '89, when the Berlin Wall came down and the internet really started, this was already inevitably gonna happen. It happened so fast, so slow, and so fast it's invisible. Now the outcome of this conversation, by the way, is that every individual has the power. After the internet, the consumers who still have their tribe, their people, have now access to information through tech. What's up, brother? Because of this direct to information, the traditional real estate company becomes a little less powerful. Now let's go I just showed this in the beginning, 100 to 1. Let's just say, use this word oppressed and use this word control. The power scale is slowly going to shift from consumers having more control and the hierarchy in a sense of who has market share, who has information, is going to diminish. Technology comes up, and now the consumer has a little bit more power. Now, where does that put the agent? That means if the traditional real estate company where the agent is relying on them has less power? Is the agent's power going up or down? This is before social media. This is just the internet. Maybe someone could like Google something, they could get information. So if the traditional real estate company's power goes down and the agent relies on them, does the agent's power go up or down? Down, down. So the agent's power goes down. Now we can argue that the agent's power, let's just say over a progressive period of time, the agent's power goes up, like it's either gonna be no matter what, under the consumer or above. It's hard to like quantify that, but let's look at a good example. RE/MAX started 10 years before Keller Williams. They attracted agents that were veteran, agents that were confident, had market share. They were like little siloed anthropomorphic groups, like mini little brokerages, meaning they had the brand, they had the market share. They attracted these tough people. That real agents didn't join RE/MAX. Would you agree? Back in the day. In '83, Gary Keller was a 26-year-old man that had worked in Texas for, if you remember Keller Williams, a company that believed that the agent worked for the company. He believed, after going to Baylor University for insurance and real estate and kicking butt, he believed that the company worked for the agent. Through that mindset, he started a company that started treating the agents. Remember, people have more access now, they're started treating the agents, let's just say, win-win real deal, integrity, good thing, customers always first, commitment all things, communication, see first, understand, we can keep going. And started coaching and training, and this is in the late 80s, 1989, early 90s, this company starts training, starts investing in these types of things. It became more culturally inclusive to start getting a mentor, getting a coach, as the world started evolving. So just think, pre-social media, into the throes of the internet, what has started to happen? Keller was the first company ever to get clear on the values of the organization and use it to drive a coaching ecosystem within a business that was able to uplift the agents to be able to have more what? Profit, ownership. So in a sense, the agent was able to be like a little mini micro traditional real estate company. Think about this. 89, 91, mid-90s, late 90s. And what ended up happening? In 2018, they ended up getting rewarded for being 20 years ahead of the curve, get the triple three. My argument is that was actually earned in the mid-90s, in the late 2000s. This is the biggest opportunity for an individual, myself included, has proven this, with Culture Matters being an idea that's gotten visibility, credibility, and clients, in something crazy, taking social media and using it for good, not evil, that post. So this is the thing. The internet keeps doubling and getting, let's just say, faster and better and stronger. What happens to the consumers? Huh? They're inundated. Now, what does that do to their internal culture and then the overall culture? They become used to just going to Zillow. They become used to just going right to the information and not needing the company or the agent. So the consumer's power has gone up. The technology's here, they're close here. The traditional real estate company, where are they? Where are they? Bought, sold. Lauren's here for good reason. That's a metaphorical, in between a micro and a macro reflection of what's going on. The number one realtor in an entire ecosystem the whole country decides to go to. The first company to disrupt the culture of an industry that was literally dissolving itself and then rebuilding itself. I know this is a lot. We have it on video, so you'll get it again. But so I'll just recap, and then I'm going to make a big punch and we're actually get started. Before the internet, information was in the real estate company, which started with someone that went out with their bootstraps and built this idea based on their confidence and their confidence. So the owner, right? They own the real estate company. Agents work through the real estate company to have more empowerment to go to the consumer, which doesn't want to do business with strangers. There's no internet, so that's pretty. So it went traditional real estate company, realtors empowered, consumer has less power because through this brand, the agent gets right there. So you see the companies like Cole, Banker, and Berkshire, and RE/MAX, they just crushed it. In the late 80s, when Gary was 29, he got a coach, he figured out his culture based on all, the information out there. He got clear on his values. He started building a business model that was basically able to build people up through it. Agents were able to build their little mini company within the company, and they just started growing. What happened? They kicked everybody's butt. While the internet is happening, my argument would be, if consumers are able to get information very easily, relationships matter most. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So Keller's an archetypal example of a company that had clear alignment between the leadership and the all the way at the bottom that went to the customer. A good example of this would be like the Container Store, where 1,000% less turnover than the average retailer. Why? They have 100 hours of training, or 160 hours of training for the people through the values every day. Or every year, 160 hours every year. So now, where's the opportunity? What's happened in the last 2 to 3 years because of the doubling and compounding of this information age that we are in? We have technology. I'll just draw it here because this is a mess. We have tech, we have the consumer, we have the traditional, we have, let's just say the agent, and I'll move it around, and then we have tech plus real estate companies that are attempting to do what? Build technology that then enables the agents to be able to have information like they didn't have before. Is that correct? My argument is this, and this is for every individual person in any independent contractor type business, every responsible individual, and this is a really, really good tidbit of information for a company like Keller Williams. It's inclusive and aligned with their people and their culture. Because of social media is the embedding of internet in us, in our culture. So there is a level of influence above the internet, and that is the creator, not the consumer. That is the social media influencer that any person on the planet can be. We don't need to fact check me on this, because how many people do we see have livings from their YouTube? They get paid by advertisers that used to pay big brands, or billboards and all these advertising. Gary Vaynerchuk has built a personality brand around uplifting people on this type of information to take responsibility. Well, why? If there wasn't a marketplace or something, there's no capitalism. If there's no utility and meaning, if there's no truth, people get weeded out. So something is up, something is right. I would say that what everyone here as an individual that's in real estate, when you take responsibility of your voice via, remember the medium equals the message. When you take responsibility of your personal Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your video content, your truth, and you put it out there in an educational, empathetic way that's therefore entertaining to your audience, the consumer will go. The tech plus the real estate is obsolete in comparison to the consumer saying, because before they Google something, who do they see on their Facebook and their LinkedIn and their Instagram? The influencer. No one's talking about this anywhere at all. And I decided today that I would experiment and show a random group of people. Who here thinks that I'm potentially onto something? Okay, we'll make history together. The point is, in the beginning of real estate, or every industry, we are seeing this politically at every level of abstraction. We are seeing the decentralization of the hierarchy and the centralization of the personal ability of the individual. Meaning in the beginning, because consumers have people, agents can't get through, they need the brand. The brand is there because one agent got through and made a company. Then the internet happens. Now the consumers can get information easier. So what happens? Technology companies are born. Zillow is created and sells information to real estate companies to then end up selling it back to them. And now they're giving it to the agents, so the agents getting it, they're paying for it, it's going there, it's coming back. You follow? Yeah. All this means is that as an agent, and now as a real estate company that doesn't adapt to technology, everybody's in trouble. Except the people that take responsibility over the next stage of the social evolution of consciousness, the evolution of technology, where people draw people into them. You're a walking billboard, 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 you're a walking billboard. Hi. Al, you're a walking billboard. Now this is the beauty. It's actually funny, I'll quote up. Noah and I were running 2 months ago, and he goes, Jay, you know, what if everyone starts doing video? Great question. Like, what if everyone starts putting themselves out there? Great question. God forbid the world's better and smarter and educated, and everyone can go to Harvard. God forbid. Meaning, and I use Harvard as an example of higher education that I can go to YouTube and actually look up and watch lectures. God forbid everyone in the world stop killing each other. Oh my. Wow. Now what does this mean for 20 years from now or 10 years from now? I'm not saying I know. What I am saying is that everyone's here for a reason, heard something, thought something, based on something else we're about to talk about, and here I am. An individual that took personal responsibility over their voice has an audience. And the beauty of life is when I sit down at another time to learn, because that's what it's about, openness, curiosity, reflection, learning, and you have something that maybe you saw that you thought after this that I never thought about, I get smarter too. Now, how does this affect real estate? So we're not going to go into all this today, but I'm going to break something down to you. This is called, we're not going to go into all of it, but we're going to go into one part of it, okay? The culture puzzle. Language. That says language, I can't write. That says symbolism. Please, who here has personal Facebook? Can you log on your personal Facebook right now and type in Jaydoran, just type in Doran. And I'll explain. Tell me when you see it. Jaydoran. What am I wearing in the I'm sorry? Jaydoran.
You're wearing
Yes. Let me see. You see this? You see this suit here? And you see how I'm writing? Okay. What am I wearing right now?
pants.
Pants. I'm wearing 2 different socks on the shirt.
He is too.
You ready why?
Perception.
I don't match. Yeah, okay, yeah, well, this is where we're going. The whole point of this talk is Facebook versus Famebook. And the first principle of personal Facebook is be who you want to be perceived to be, authentically.
Yeah.
These are the shirts of Culture Matters. This is the hat. This is the logo. If you go on the YouTube and you watch the interviews, like Lauren, like I interviewed Mike, and all these people, I'm wearing a suit. This would be if the brand or belief consumers have in ... This is a pattern disruptor. This is symbolism. See, I don't match my Facebook right now, do I? That is misalignment of my brand. That could affect over time the results that I get from my authenticity. The brand is something that we create as the individual through story, through language, through the medium, and the symbolism. Today we're talking about Facebook is one of the, Facebook personal, meaning you don't have to spend any money to just be yourself online and be creative in different ways to be out there. You follow? This might be a Culture Matters, like my hair is not anything. This might be a Culture Matters hat, this might be a Culture Matters tee, but if you go to YouTube, 1,400 plus videos, if you go to the 130 interviews, if you go to all that, I'm always wearing a suit. So even though this says Culture Matters on it, language, and even though I'm me, with the stories that I tell, I'm myself, and this is a medium, by the way. We're in a room together. This is the medium, the group meeting. My symbolism is out of whack. That dilutes the message. Everything counts. You follow? Today, we're just going to talk about medium. We're just going to talk about personal Facebook, and it's my job as a mentor in this juxtaposition of people listening, me talking, to use story, like I've already been talking, and language, so that this makes sense to you. So you're open and curious and observant and ready to learn something new because of all this history that's so close in front of our eyes, we can't even see. That this is the greatest opportunity for an individual to build their business, to build their real estate business. Because as your future customer is Googling where they should buy a house, and you end up seeing Zillow, the average person 30 and up, which is the buyers and sellers, on Facebook, for example, they're on Facebook an average of over an hour a day, consuming information. You know that because we're these people. We are that. So before they even go, well, do they know who you are on personal Facebook, on your social media? Are you fully being authentic? Are you putting yourself out there enough for them to actually even know you exist? That's what we're going to talk about. So, can we play something or no?
That guy said yes.
Well, I don't know if it works. Should I cue?
we should be okay.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully it doesn't die.
Can I erase this? Did you kind of get this?
Don't
You
erase
know-
it with your hand, let me get your.
Yeah, alright, that's even better.
This is the end of my mother.
Hi, everyone. I didn't get everyone's name. Lauren, Camille, I wrote your name down. Carissa, who's Carissa? Sharissa,
What do you
and
want to?
Alan. I don't like forgetting names. Oh, can you go to, just type in J, Duran.
What do you want to play?
There you go. Give you some backstory.
Katie.
Diane. You have friends on Facebook?
Vincent.
Vincent? Yeah, Diane.
Me.
I'm gonna erase this over here. We'll start here. Someone say something? So, Facebook 5. Personal profile. Now, I want to make it very clear. The core thought process, mindset, ethos, ideology, understanding of this is useful in any context, in any medium. Instagram, LinkedIn, the overall thought process that we are either we're a full consumer, taking in everyone's information, or we're a creator that's also a consumer. So this is we're probably not going to be only creators without being consumers. Everybody's different, but this is the point. As long as you, an individual, is creating more than consuming, now we're starting to be influential as a personal billboard. I also, side note, does everyone have to do this? No, of course not. This is just, I'll just use some examples. The CEO currently of T-Mobile, who does cookouts. You ever see the guy with the pink shirt? T-Mobile, John Lanier, he's on Facebook doing cookouts. Have you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk? These names, these are individuals that are using their personal stories, symbolism, language through the medium of social to gain attention, to then divert that to their business as owners. And I'm saying that in any day and time, any individual that has something to say, that's developed that, can do the same thing and draw a massive amount of attention to them. So yeah, now just some backstory. at the root, at the back, like all the way behind all this medium conversation we're having, there's the understanding of educating people to be better, to have less turnover and more productivity. Anyone here have teams or want a team in the future? Think of it, okay. Think of it as, yeah, pause it really quick. What do you offer to your team, to your children of the future, if not for education and mentorship in a world where we're all connected? When they can educate themselves, your future employee, your future team member, and just get visibility themselves. What do you offer besides being able to educate and teach them in a world where we are all connected? It goes back to, if you agree what I'm saying about how social media is a pull even beyond the internet, we really can't refute it. If you have a team or you want to have a team, what can you inspire and empower and teach other people to be better so they're better at their role? So all the way behind this conversation, at a business, in 4 months, we went from 0 employees to 30 employees, and everyone basically worked 3 times more than they would get paid. Why? Because we were clear on our story, we were clear on our values, we led from the front, and they were inspired to something greater, and the money came. It changed my entire way of living, like looking at the world. I wasn't 1/1,000,000th of who I've decided to be 5 years later. No way. And in the journey of attempting to become less of a jerk, culture started to matter more. In the beginning, when everyone thought I was completely out of my mind, imagine believing you can do something. You're a brand new realtor, for example. You have no buyers and sellers. You have your business card. No one's coming to you. I had to take responsibility of social media to create an audience. Along the way of that, and it's the reason that we talk about the Facebook 5, there's an intentionality behind it to help people get their voice out. Along the way of doing those videos, went out every day for about a year, like every day. I was in an ATV accident where my arm was like really mangled up pretty good. And the prognosis was I'd never be able to use it again, ever again. The only thing that got me through that, there was no one to call, no family, they didn't even know for years. It was years later, I told them in Thanksgiving, no one even knew. Because of consistently being as real as possible online. There was a community of people that got me through that. This isn't just about business building. This is about your tribe. You want to build your business? Be yourself, build yourself, put it out there. You'll have a community too. So this is right after, I actually want to show really quick, not the whole thing. Right after this, I was going about 40 miles an hour. I was in the passenger seat. There was a seatbelt on me, a helmet on me. I'm real safe. I've never been in one of these before. My buddy was driving in. It was a total accident. He flipped over a 1,000-pound ATV, and it landed on my arm. And pretty good. Now there's no blood. So anyone squeamish? Of course. Anyone squeamish? No, there's no blood. If you throw up, it's just the culture.
Fair street, yeah.
Don't be a dummy. I broke my arm. What's the matter?
All right, just pause it because I don't want to show. I don't want there's no reason to put him in there. Yeah, just pause it. It's good.
If it wasn't for my intrinsic culture.
Yeah, you get the point. Now, it looked like I was real tough. 8 years of reading to think, working on myself, taking risks in business, definitely prepared me to not freak totally out at that moment. However, within 2 weeks, can you go to the accident video really quick? Within 2 weeks, I remember sitting, like waking up in bed at 2 weeks, and this whole thing was like, forget this. This is it, dude. Like, I don't have an arm. I need to quit. This is just ridiculous. Why bother? I logged on Facebook and I had put out this video. And the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments and people that actually were there when no one even knew it was hurt, familial people. There's no one. Is the only reason that I kept pushing. So if we're in real estate and in the beginning, in the beginning, that it takes some time to get your first business, you gotta put up with it. There's just pressure. Who's gonna believe you? We have people that are buyers and sellers, but they always got someone. I was ready to completely quit on culture. Culture. What about me? This video, which I filmed within a week or so of it, attempting to work this out, which was about 12 minutes long, they're usually 3. I needed to talk to someone, not knowing anyone would listen. The response to this video, we're gonna play the whole thing for a little bit, is what got me through it.
13 days ago, I was. Now, I don't even know what ATD was at the time.
It's a little bit delayed,
A friend of mine, someone that I respect, someone that I care about.
Would you agree I'm upset?
Yeah.
I cried in the video.
Someone that.
I was just we could just stop it. We get it.
Friend.
The first principle of your social media, we'll call it personal Facebook, is be who you want to be. Here, you see where this is going? Perceived. This is the caveat that everyone needs to understand. Authentically. Prior to culture, I was in the fitness business for 10 years. A business I probably should have never been in because I was addicted with what people thought of what I looked like. Probably shouldn't have been in it. For that reason. Who cares? No. Is that person looking at me? The point of speaking is to speak through my pain to you, not for me. The point of sharing, the point of mentoring, is to speak through my pain, not for my pain, to mask my pain. That's the purpose. Luckily for you, this accident has helped me think things a little bit differently so that you don't have to hire Giuseppe or, I don't want to say any names, but Bob to just hit you right in the kneecap, because I highly recommend it. An accident sometimes can be good. I need it, maybe more. What's the actual step of be who you want to be perceived to be authentically? Remember how I wore this on purpose to make a point about, even though this says culture matters on it, is this what I have on my personal Facebook? Is this what I have on my Instagram, Antoine? LinkedIn?
No.
No. You decide how are people going to perceive you. Now remember, fitness business to C-suite executive coach. Where's the alignment? Where's your degree? Where's your organizational leadership? Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? The beginning is, what is your symbolism that you're going to use? The responsibility is, it is fame book or fake book when you don't live your truth that you decide. So if you go to the personal Facebook and you see the cover photo, like the one behind it, that it shows writing, that's an integral part of the culture or the belief system. Where's my bag? Of the belief system of Culture Matters. This is a book that came out 3 weeks ago, bestseller, Morality and Ethics, and every letter was written by yours truly. Someone that took responsibility. There's no ghost, we're not in a haunted house. To write for my own personal development, for my own internal psychology. This book is now for anyone to be able to write down, to read a thought, to write down their thoughts in the book, and it shows you exactly how to film 1-minute videos that people will watch through your truth. This is not my book. This is the reader's book that they can write, that they can develop themselves. that they could put it out. This is the outcome of this first principle that regardless of the medium as Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, this was really important for me to be a better person. As far as the medium goes, have your social media match who you are. Have it match who you are. Period. That's my lesson. Be who you want to be, proceed to be authentically. So I'm not in the fitness business anymore. I'm not gonna wear a tank top in my cover photo. If you go, now this is important, if you go, really quick, just pop up my bit again, and this ties into, if you go on the page and you look, this is very important, everyone here, actionably, because it's visibility, credibility. These 5 photos right here, they should be with people you actually have a relationship with for your integrity. If you don't have people in your life that are influential, deservedly so, like they've done great things, figure out a way to serve them in a way for them to then serve you. You follow? Example, got a camera like that and drove all around the tri-state and interviewed 130 people in a year and a half. Mike McCann is one of them, Gaurav Gambhir is one of them, Jake is one of them. We could go on. All these beautiful relationships, Sky Michaels, of people that are friends. The intent was to listen to understand, was to give them value on a budget of no investor. On a budget of, I'm new to a business. This is a startup. I'm a realtor. I'm a 1099. This is my business. My great uncle's not giving me $1 million to start my real estate business. Personal responsibility of Facebook and social media. Be who you want to be, proceed to be authentically. Figure out ways to serve people that you want to learn from. I learned so much listening. So that way when I do speak, I can speak through my pain for you, not speak to you for me. I lost it. On your profile, have those photos reflect your being. Have them reflect who you are. Have your symbolism reflect how you want to be perceived to be. The suit, for example, in this capacity, it made sense psychologically speaking for that line of work. I'm not going to wear shorts to go to a corporation and attempt to be overcoming all of the objections of, I could be their great-grandchild and all the other things that come up. I'm going to meet people where they are. I'm going to wear a 3-piece suit. I'd rather deal with that objection of why are you so dressed up than why are you so dressed down? Because I can just dress down. But you have to know who your consumers are. You have to know who your market are. All of my clients are twice my age. They should be my father. Know your audience. When I was hurt, what did I say got me through the accident? The people in my life through social media. There's no family to call. There was no one to call. No one knew anything. The second rule of Facebook, get 5,000 winners. I should say get 5,000 winners, but I'm going too fast. Well, I want to use my personal Facebook for my personal. Okay. That's fine. I hope that I can convince you out of that so that for the first time in history, we can actually have more friends than we ever could when we were just in little communities and we had to deal with the same guy at happy hour. You ever notice that as you grow, if you're here and you know anything about me, if you're here, unless someone tricked you here, you're here to learn something. Is that correct? People that don't want to learn and aren't open, can they bring you down or hold you back? Have you ever met one of those people? Because of social media, I am deleted every day by people that don't like learning and growing. I was like, I want to have 5,000 winners. What's a winner? It's not about, someone that's a winner for me could be a loser to someone else because we have different interests. Like, I'm not gonna win the bowl-a-thon, that's not my hobby, or I'm not gonna, right? You follow? So what did I do? I said, and I'll explain, if real estate, I'm looking for that, I'll explain some bullets. I said, because of this, I said, who are the business people that I know in Philly that I'm already friends with? And who are their friends? Because remember, we talked, and anyone that missed this earlier, basically, over time, it's a proven fact that social media is aging people down. Like grandma and mom was not on it 5 years ago, and now they are. I almost have my 80-year-old mother on it. Almost! When you send someone you don't know a friend request, if we have a mutual friend, are they less likely or more likely to accept? So I looked for business-minded people I was friends with, and I sent their friends that, what did I do? I judged, like we all do, their profile picture, their thing, and I added them. Now, what's the long-term investment? And we're gonna talk about the third principle in a minute. Every time I post, I'm a walking what? Of who I am. And after about a year and a half, it went from 10 deletions a day, because I got a little intense about posting, which everyone's at a different, right? To like 1 a week. We're building our tribe. We're building our tribe. How did anyone hear about this? That's a stupid question. Who heard about this from Facebook flyer? What about the inside the Keller Williams? Well, because we didn't, that's a bad question too, because we didn't really put it out. How did you hear about this, Michelle? Well, I saw you upstairs. That's the worst question. Hey, what about you?
It was posted on our calendar and they mentioned it at our team meeting.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Anyone hear this from Jeremy Bowers? Okay. Was it Mike? Got it?
Diane.
And how'd you hear about it?
The calendar.
Calendar? Okay, no, this is good. And yourself? Mike? Calendar? I saw you. No. And yourself?
Calendar.
Calendar? Calendar? Well, me, because of social media.
Right.
I texted Mike, we have a relationship. I called Jeremy, we have a relationship. The calendar. Does this office have a lot of teaching?
Yes.
That's the culture. Is the calendar how most people see it? What's the medium? The calendar. Mike and Jeremy, social media, mutual friends, social media, interviewed Mike, give value to people you can learn from, gave 25 pieces of content to help grow his personality brand. Just the #1 realtor in the whole country. Just gave him 20 pieces of content so he could grow his audience even better, so people could see who his heart is, because it's pretty addicting to actually listen to people and help bring out their genius, listening to people. If I was in real estate, you have past clients? Do your past clients have friends? If you're friends with all your past clients on social media, and you add all your past clients' friends on social media, your past clients' friends ask your past client, who's that person? What are they gonna say? Huh?
That's great.
That's what everyone else is. What's going on?
That's great mentality, isn't it?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Past clients and their friends. Realtors, what industries do you do business with a lot? To make sure that the deal goes through. Mortgage, title, what else?
Inspectors.
Inspectors? Other realtors? Think about it. If it was originally the traditional, I know I wrote this and I raised it, but think about this psychologically. If it was originally the traditional real estate that had the power, and now they have no power because the consumers can get all the information on their own. And now every real estate company is adapting to this with technology. And your social media presence is your visibility and credibility. And the consumers can like you or know you, like you, and trust you through social media. And you're always doing business with mortgage people, title people, and realtors. What if you were friends with them too? How often do we let things slide to people that we admire? Who has a team again? Has a team or like, okay. So anyone here raise your hand? Do they want to have employees someday or some people work with them to grow? Okay, if you're that person, if the people around your industry see you all the time and see you as a leader, could that make it easier? Who here would like to have as much control over their, let's just say, yeah, right?
Yes.
It's a bad question, maybe? That's funny though. Gotcha, I'm about to figure it out. No, true. If you have all the attention, are you worth more or less to a real estate company?
More.
That's my point as well. 5,000 women, now remember, that's just personal profile Facebook. But the thought process of having attention from being yourself, from putting yourself out there and gaining and having an audience, that thought process works for all social media. We don't know if some of these platforms, these mediums, are going to exist in the next 5 years. Do we know? Can we tell? We don't know. But do you have a story to tell?
Yeah.
Can you speak language or do signs?
Yeah.
Can you control what you wear and how you put yourself out there?
Yes.
And you're in the middle. The medium is the message. Today is the beginning of a conversation. Number 3, number 4, number 5. I would do, like, if it was more organized, I would say, come up with the other 3 that you think and like, gosh, I should have been a teacher. But no, we don't do that. Oh wait, we are one.
You are a teacher.
There you go. The world's changing. Tenure. Forget it. This is your tenure. The 3rd principle. Write this down, because if you haven't been able to tell, it doesn't matter when I write it, because it's hard to read. The 3rd principle. Post so much that if they hate you, they'll unfriend you, but if they love you, they'll want to marry you. Now, polygamy doesn't work too much according to most societies, so it's not really, that's not what I mean. The question is, what makes sense to post? Does it make sense to, for example, if you take pictures with a few of the people here and post it on Facebook, check in and say something you learned, or, oh, the worst thing ever, the guy was just sweating. Now you're yelling. That falls under number 3, post so much. Just consistently be somewhere. Like, we'll take a group picture, I'll check in, I'll write something nice. And then I'll go to the other place I'm gonna go, take a selfie with Gaurav. Then I'll go to the podcast we're gonna do at 5. Do it. It's all on video, which ties us into, oh wait, I'm right, sorry, I get excited. Number 4, the 4th principle. If it's not on video, it didn't
Happen.
There you go. See that camera? Is he running? Post so much, if they hate you, they'll unfriend you. If they love you, want to marry you. We'll cover that next time. 4, if it's not on video, it didn't happen. And 5, don't be a salesperson, be personable. And I'll explain something you use today to build relationships. I want you to take the word conversion when it comes to, like, let's say your personal Facebook, and throw it out and think conversation. So your Facebook Messenger has a really dramatic, the last time I checked, it was like 800% more likely to open it than email. It's hard to keep up with how fast we're becoming a part of social media. If you just spark conversation with people random, like, hey, how you doing, whatever, you'd be surprised how many a cold call, right? We call it a hot call, Culture Matters. is to have as many conversations, contacts a day, isn't it? Don't you hear this in real estate? If you're putting out your truth and you're consistent about it, and you send someone a message on Facebook that you know is probably someone that you'll do something with because you follow principle number 2, now you're just having a conversation. Isn't that what they teach us to do with the telephone or doorknob? This is how culture matters as an idea. It's an idea, right? First, became visible, credible, and got clients to help people. So that's something you can take away. I want to leave you with one thing that I wrote for everyone here today this morning. It's like 30 seconds. To explain why I do this and why I'm here. If I could just find it. Here we go. Don't speak for yourself. Speak through yourself and for others. That's the title. They are not stranger to you. You and them are one. Shared common grounds bring you together. Your pain, your fear, the desires you hold dear, and the mask of pride used as a shield. Dodges daggers cast in judgment. Lassoed together, this and your peers be strangers, where the customers and you can relate. We will all succumb to fight or flight and dread in the end. However, the more we fight to win, the closer we step to meet our maker. I speak before you today not for me, but through me, so that my fear, my pain, and the chill running up my spine, even in this moment, can cast hope, revelation, and truth into your hands, so that you may battle your greatest foe, yourself. As I have even up until I uttered my first breath before you, my audience, let us begin. For I may have your attention now, but it is you who will hold this virtue when we soon part ways. You hold the power to your brand and your social media. Take control. Thank you. So 2 questions and then we'll wrap it up.
We're gonna buy your book.
30 Days of Thought, Amazon. And I want one more question, and I'll add some of that. I want to be fair to the audience. Anyone?
How long did it take to get to 5,000 friends?
Great question. So, I'm going to explain for me and then someone else. First, it's easy for me to delegate and leave a mess completely everywhere. So as soon as I could just give that to an admin, they added 100 a day and time blocked their schedule. If I had to sleep less and do more, because that's a part, right? We're all busy. How am I going to add 5,000 friends? Well, I got to do this and this and this and this and this. This book that every letter was written, all the videos, all these things happened because a little thing was done every day. So do this. If you have 1,000 friends, take 4,000 people left and divide it by your time. 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. How quickly do you want it? Because we can meet each other in a year and you can have no more. Every one of you will make that decision on their own. Whatever that amount is that you don't have, divide it by your timeline, your goal. If you have an administrator that has a bunch of tasks, figure out in their time block where 10 minutes a day would make sense for them to go to your friends and add, or whatever the strategy is. You follow? When we meet again, we'll figure this out. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll organize it if you're open to it, and maybe we can get more people together to teach, to recap, and then teach the rest, or we'll figure that out together. Think of it like a push and pull. You're more active checking in and taking pictures and just being present and liking and engaging. You're putting out a video once a week of something that could help your audience in some way. Does that make sense? You're doing more and more. People will start sending you friend requests. It all just starts compounding and putting the puzzle piece together. Make sense? Now that actually ties around fully to the question you asked about where can you get the book. Amazon, 30 Days of Thought. So just type in 30 Days of Thought, and on Amazon, the entire point of this book, there is nothing about me in this book except for on the back. That's it. Every day, the point of this, and it shows you exactly how to film a 1-minute video, this is no longer my book. The preface, this is not anyone's book but your own. Use this as what it is, a tool. Every day, read, write, and speak to develop your truth and serve others through your development. Over 30 days, you will write your book, your content, your course, your value, and through that, you will create more meaning in your life and others. This book is a launch pad for your book. Use this as yours so your light shines bright. This is yours because your culture matters. This book is 90 pieces of LinkedIn content, Facebook content, 90 videos when you're done. There's 90 chapters of just think something, not to learn from me, just to think and then write it down. So that could potentially help someone as well if they want to put out writing, or if they just want to journal for themselves, or if they just want to do videos. You could do one every day, you could do one twice a week, you could do one 3 times a day. That's all up to the individual because it's not my book, it's your book. So I hope this helped you guys. Hope it was valuable. I definitely look forward to finishing it. Maybe we can figure out a way to do that. I don't know. Is that something you're open to?
Yes.
And then I'll just figure this out with Noah and everybody, and we'll figure out how to do it. Sound good? I appreciate you, and let's take a selfie.